Hi, this is Glenda. Did you ever sort of make something that you were really quite pleased with and then everything went downhill from there? That was this card. I was quite happy with the way it turned out. It was a little bit different and looked pretty, and I thought, oh, maybe I could make that into a shoebox swap. And that's where everything went wrong. I've never had so much trouble die cutting in my life. The die cuts are supposed to be the lattice cut out of a whole piece so that you've got the whole piece to wrap around, and then the two leaves and the butterflies in two parts, so it's quite a bit of cutting. The lattice just about drove me nuts. I ended up with, I think, 2 usable ones that out of the card where they're actually wrapped around. All the rest I ended up with like this, or even less usable. So I thought I'll show you what I had planned anyway. Sorry, I'm obsessed with this bit of sticky on the back of my card. Anyway, so my compromise is I've got my piece of card, and this is slightly thinner than my original card because that's what I had in bulk, and I can only assume that's what was giving me all the trouble die cutting. So I thought, okay, well, I'll put a bit of tape on the top of this, and then it can be stuck down. The advantage of this was that I got a little bit of dimension because I was able to put a dimensional tape underneath the butterflies, and it just raises it up a fraction so you get the shadow effect. And I'm not sure whether that's going to work. We'll see. So instead of having 4 layers, which gives it a bit more strength, I've only got my 3 layers now. I've got some die cut everywhere. I had die cut confetti all over the floor. I had a great big pile of failed lattices. You name it and it went wrong. So then it's a case of just sticking on the 2 leaves however you want them. And I mean, if you don't have a suitable die cut for the leaves, you could use several small leaves and just arrange them. And I had trouble with my glue, so I thought I'll try plan B, where I squeeze some out first. You can see how brilliantly successful that's been. There we go. Tweezers would be good about now. Oh, the other thing I did with the leaves was stick them on with the card open. Okay, like a moron, I should have stuck the leaves on before I stuck the lattice to the card, because obviously you're going to get a whole lot of glue that has nowhere to stick, especially if you use too much like I just did. Now I've got to try and do it without bending the lattice. It has not been a fun experience. I really enjoyed the original card, and I really didn't enjoy everything that came after. Do not glue how I'm gluing. I'm making a horrible mess. Okay, I am going to put a piece of craft mat between the lattice and the card, and then I can put an acrylic block on the top like that. Sorry about the bang. And I'm going to put it aside to dry. What a mess. See, now everything started going wrong. Even in my video it's all going wrong too. I just can't win with this. It's the card that was never meant to be made, or not mass produced anyway. Okay, so the butterfly comes in 2 parts, so I've stuck it to a matching cardstock. Sorry, I have stuck double-sided tape to the matching cardstock, so I can peel off, in theory, I can peel off the backing layer and have a sticky butterfly. I saw this on and I meant to look it up before I started. I'll put a link in the comments because I can't remember the lady's name. She has a shop and she does videos, and she was using perfect pearls. So for this one I used my Lindy's micas, which of course are not a particularly cheap mica. So because this was for a share, I thought, okay, we'll use the cheap eyeshadows. This one I used purples and blues and a green, I think, and they all have a bit of gold in them. I don't have that many colours in these, so I'm just going to put some on. Whoops. My granddaughter's just made one of these, so I have just proved that everybody can do it, and that the these are body shimmer powders, and I've got a bit of what's the Perfect Pearls that doesn't have the binder, the Pearlex. Because you don't need a binder on these because they're onto sticky paper. So I'm just mixing some colours on. A bit of the darker one as well. Just mix it all in. This is turning out very pastel-y because of the colours I've got. But it's still pretty. Okay, I want to not have too much loose powder. And the top layer I've cut out of flocked vinyl. You can probably see the shimmer on my fingers even if you can't see it on the butterfly. They just come up so pretty. Okay, with the first one I hadn't put paper on the back, so I just peeled the extra layer of sticky off and stuck them straight on there. And then I put my dimensional tape underneath. But I think what I'm going to do is put a glue dot on the back of these and then just pop a piece of dimensional tape in underneath and then round the corners. So it looks pretty similar, especially once that glue dries. Anyway, that's my shoebox swap offering. Honestly, we're only going to have enough for half of us because I've just given up on the whole cutting. But if you watched this little fiasco, thank you very much.